Welcome to the United States of America.
Oh, it's a hell of a place. Used to be a hell of a country. It's just. Here's the other question. We've brought it up on the show before, but I think it bears scrutiny. The main question that we have yet to answer, I'm beginning to think we'll never get it answered, is it's quite clear to me that there hasn't been a president for at least 2 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
That Biden, whoever is handling him, has discounted him for at least 2 years to not do anything important. Okay, who's running the country? Because they're going to be, if Harris wins, that's who's going to be running the country. And I think the big fear of Trump is that they can't run him.
You're saying the deep state is at work?
Right. Yes. Well, who's running the country? We've gotten along just fine without a president for 2 years.
What if it's a squirrel?
Well, actually, we haven't gotten along fine.
Right.
Do we need one? I mean, doesn't that ask the question?
Well, you need one to pardon turkeys and light the Christmas tree and stuff like that.
Bite kids' legs that are dressed up as chickens.
Yeah, eat children on the lawn, nibble in their ears.
Sniff air.
Yeah. But other than that, what do you need one for? Because somebody else is running the show. And don't you just feel more and more helpless? Who's running the damn show?
A figurehead.
Now, here's this. I read this today. Senator Mike Lee. Who's he, John?
He's a senator.
He's a Republican Utah.
He's very conservative, yes.
Senator Mike Lee, Republican Utah, has suggested that if Democrats sweep the elections, they will control the nation for a century. A century. That's 100 years for you in the bag.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Just trying to add.
He predicted that if Democrats win both chambers of Congress and the White House, they will eliminate the filibuster, add justices to the Supreme Court, grant Washington and D.C. Puerto Rico statehood, and establish federal control over elections, redistricting, and campaigns. Day 1, nuke the filibuster, Lee wrote. Day 2, Pax SCOTUS. Day 3, make D.C. and PR states. Day 4, enact a federal takeover of elections, redistricting, campaigns. Day 5, 36,500. Rule America. I don't know what that means. 36,500. Rule America uncontested for 100 years. That's not going to surprise me.
Will Americans stand up and march on Washington and fight back? Will violence ensue ever in those 100 years?
Lee, I'll get to your answer. Lee, who has been serving in the Senate since 2011, endorsed Trump in January. The senator has been active on X, frequently responding to 2024 Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris. In the global struggle between tyranny and democracy, the President of the United States must always be on the side of freedom, Harris tweeted. Exactly, Lee responded. That's why most of us are voting for Trump. Lee offered a blunt response to a post in which Harris called Trump weak. Your policies aren't good, Lee fired back, and make Americans poorer and less free. And while many on social media have been discussing the death of Peanut, this Peanut made this story.
Come on.
I'm telling you. And while many on social media have been discussing the death of Peanut, a pet squirrel that was seethed and murdered. I put that in. It was euthanized. In New York, Lee suggested swapping the GOP's elephant mascot for Peanut the squirrel.
Come on.
Here's what will happen if Harris wins.
Squirrels running amok.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We'll be going along just like we are today. Seemingly nothing will change.
Okay.
Nothing will change, except everything will change. It'll happen in layers.
Well,
it'll happen slowly.
You mean the new way forward?
The new way forward will be...
Wait, so it's a new way forward, not the last 4 years. It's different.
No, that's another thing I don't understand about we're not going back. Well, wait a minute.
Wait.
You were back. You're the back.
We're going to go... well, see, we were going forward this way, but this is going to be a new way forward.
It's censorship from top to bottom, most definitely. This show won't exist. Rogan won't exist. Adam Carolla won't exist. Anybody with a conservative viewpoint will be pulled. anybody with a middle of the road viewpoint will be pulled. Any show podcast that's hosted by somebody who once was a Democrat and now is a middle of the roader, that will be pulled. Any kind of show that questions the government will be gone. It will be after those
What are we gonna
100
do with
years.
Elon?
North Korea.
What are we going to do with Elon?
If I may borrow a word from Mr. Souchere, Kenny, that's the biggest load of hyperbole I've ever heard in my life.
What's it going to be like 100 years, 50 years down the road? Then, John, you tell me.
It's going to be the
Pyongyang.
same. It's going to be the same as it always has been. Both sides are going to be fighting.
I was gonna like saying, dang.
No, we're speculating. We're playing a mind game. That
I know, Chris.
you heard the setup Joe gave. Play the game,
I
John.
did.
What will it be
I
like?
don't believe Mike Lee's setup, so it's tough for me to.
Okay, let's
play
take Mike Lee out of it. I'll offer one thing that will not only not get better, but will probably get worse. And that's quality of life crimes.
Oh,
You got a daffy vice presidential candidate who let this town burn. He doesn't want anything to do with imprisoning anybody. You've got a presidential candidate who was sending bail money here for the rioters.
Yeah.
You've got a presidential candidate who won't tell us how she voted in California to toughen the laws on what the hell was it? Crimes, many crimes. You will, if you think going into the drugstore now and buying a toothpaste is difficult because you got to go find somebody to unlock the cabinet, I think quality of life crimes will increase and become more noticeable. And I can enumerate the quality of life crimes if you'd wish me to. Now, maybe in Sioux Falls, you're not going to have quality of life crimes, because that's South Dakota.
Right.
Minnesota, given this lousy governor, has quality of life crimes already and is seeing quality of life crimes increase under his tenure.